Hi, I'm Coach Daniel, and I'm here to talk about the new Creed movie. Last weekend, I went to watch it with my wife in the cinema, and I was really blown away by what I saw on the screen. It is, first of all, it is an incredible movie on all levels. If I had to give it a rating, I would, out of 10, it would be a 10. There's, of course, potential for more, but compared to all the boxing movies I've seen to this day, it was the best made one, the most professionally made one. One aspect that led to that conclusion from my side is the amazing camera work. I've never seen a movie where the cameraman worked so agile and captured so many different angles in so many different setups ever. I don't think I ever saw a movie where there were so many different scenes and angles and perspectives, slow motions, and it was just from a camera level a complete spectacle to watch. It really helps you also understand or get an idea of how it feels to be in the ring, what a boxer might feel when he gets punched, when he steps into the ring, by being so close to him with the camera. I also very much appreciated how much effort the fighters put into the techniques. You could see that everyone that participated in this movie is either a boxer from a proper boxer in real life or at least trained long enough to make it look very realistic. And that is something that I sadly haven't seen in all boxing movies, especially not older ones. So I highly appreciate it as a boxing coach that the actors took the time to learn, to understand the techniques, to practice them in order to apply them well on the screen, which is just makes it much more realistic and for me to watch, and I enjoy it more because I can imagine it being real. I also appreciate how the producers of this movie involved so many different people, organizations, brands from the world of boxing. From the zone, the broadcaster, to the ring announcers, to the belts that they show, to the fighters that participate in the movie. They're all real. Terence Crawford is a real boxer. Um, Dave Diamante is a real ring announcer. So it's for me, there are people that I already see on fights and TV, and it's really cool to see them as part of the movie because it automatically gives me this real feeling. It makes it feel very real, not this surreal movie in an other world. And I don't think in previous boxing movies there has been ever that much involvement of external companies and brands from the world of the sport. I really hope deeper from my heart that they make this the new standard for boxing movies because it's just sick. I, for me, something the actor or the role, the person that I appreciated the most from the whole movie wasn't actually Michael B. Jordan, the protagonist, but in fact his coach, um, Lil Duke or Coach Burton, played by the actor Wood Harris. He I think it's a very underappreciated role that might get missed by a lot of spectators of the movie. If you pay attention, if Adonis would listen to the coach in the first place, a big tragedy could have been prevented. And despite ignoring his coach and doing reckless things, the coach remains loyal to Adonis, keeps supporting him, keeps being there for him professionally as much as on a private level. And I think it's a very good. It's the best coach or boxing coach example I've ever seen on a screen. Actually, no, Ted Lasso from the series, from the football series, is an amazing coach. So I would say that Wood Harris really did the best boxing coach I've ever seen on screen so far, especially if we compare it with Mickey from the Rocky movies, from who was a different type of coach. I really appreciate the example that Coach Burton does in this movie. He's a good coach with good values that conducts the sport professionally, and it's not a weird one of those weird creatures that moves around in boxing and in the end screws up the career of his fighters. He's really great example. And I think if in real life all the boxing coaches would be like more like him, the sport would be probably the most popular one in the entire world, and it would be much more entertaining and competitive to watch. The only thing that I think could have been done better in this movie is the storyline in itself, with Damien coming out of prison and getting a title fight straight away. That in real life has never happened. I don't think it will ever happen. Um, Even if you think back when Mike Tyson, one of the greatest boxers and most popular boxers of all times, went to prison, he came back out of prison and he first had to fight a few times unknown names in order to get back on the world title stage. I think this way of doing business and setting up fights like this is a ghost of the past in boxing, something that belongs to the past. I think the fans of today don't want to see these weird fights that has been set up between private parties purely based on who has the best connections. But fans want to see the best fighting the best, and they want to see tournaments where the best compete against the best on transparent and fair conditions. And if you watch this movie, it didn't really guide any or show that in any way. It only showed how it's been done in the past, how sadly it still is being done by a lot of people in the sport. And I think if they had instead showed Adonis coming up with a new tournament and making the sport a bit more cleaner, that would have been a really good thing for the sport in itself. But hey, it's a movie. It's not meant to be for the sport. It's meant to for the fans to entertain. So I still give it 10 out of 10, and I just really hope that the next big boxing movie stops focusing so much on these dirty ghosts of the past, of these dirty ways of doing the business, how they come from the past, and instead focus on how we could be, on the clean tournaments that we could have in the future. Thank you, and drop a like if you enjoyed it.